She look at my neck. She put both hands around me and choked me completely out and was beating.
I was scared for her life for a minute. When I was outside the door.
Yeah.
She came in.
A woman, a locked house, an ex-husband inside with someone else. What happened next led to charges of residential burglary and battery, but was the arrest legally justified?
I've never been here before. Oh, okay. Come on out to us. Come out to us. Police department. Hey, step out here with us and talk to us. Let me see your hands. No. Who else is in here with you? Holly. Tell her to come out here too. Holly, you come out here. Okay. Who did that to you? My ex-soon-to-be ex. Frankie? Broken, yeah. Okay. She hasn't been living here in 2 months. Yeah, I know where she's staying. Wait a second. I was trying to stop her, and I did the best I could.
Is there anyone else in the house?
No.
Yeah, no, go for it. Yeah, so I locked both doors, and she broke into the front. Yeah, okay. You're Carl, right? Yes, sir. Okay. My name's Officer Williams, my man. Sorry to meet you. I'm sorry. This is nuts. We were watching. Did she do this to the door? No, that's in there. You won't bite. I know. I just didn't want her to get out. What's that? I just didn't want to get her to run out. Oh no, that's fine. But no, so I forgot the window was open, so I locked both doors.
She came. He told her to leave.
I forgot it was unlocked. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna get your information really quick, okay?
Told her to leave.
What'd she hit you with? And so I got locked out of the door.
She hit me with something that's glass. I don't know. It was dark. It was pitch black.
You got pretty good. Do you want to put a new shirt on?
Yeah, I don't.
Are you
completely ripped it.
How about just put the towel over you?
Carl, you got a shirt?
Just put that coat on. Yeah, there you go. Hi, buddy.
She choked me out. I lost consciousness. I don't. She look at my neck. She put both hands around me and choked me completely out and was beating. I was scared for her life for a minute. When I was outside the door.
Yeah.
She came in. I was behind the door. She came in and.
You were behind. You were behind this door.
No, the bedroom door.
Okay.
We were behind the bedroom door, and he was trying to get her to leave. She wouldn't leave. He literally told her, "You haven't been here in 2 months. You don't live here. You don't get to show up whenever you want." She's calling me every name in the book, talking shit about me. She came in. We were both going at it. She did take the first hit. We were both going at it, and then she choked me, and she had me linked up against his. There was a whole bunch of stuff in the corner. She had me linked up against that, and I lost consciousness.
Okay.
And then she just started waylaying me.
Did she come through this door? Or she
came through the front window.
The front window here?
Yeah.
Okay. So what exactly happened?
Okay, so we were in there watching the new It series, and I hear banging on the front door, and
this door here?
Yep, and she's trying to get through the front glass door, which I locked. We don't have a key for it, right? And I'm like, you gotta go. She runs around. I thought she was leaving, so I'm like, Holly, you gotta come up with a plan, because we put her in there. And I was like, if I say go, you gotta run, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, she's coming through the front door. And so I kind of get to her right here, and I'm like, you gotta go, whatever, and I tell her she's downstairs, thinking I can decoy something, you know what I mean? And then finally she figured out she's in that room. And I basically hit the room, she barrels through me somehow, and gets in, and somehow shuts the door, then I get in about 3 seconds later, and threw her off of her, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
She hit you or anything like that, or just?
I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah.
She came through
this front door, this front window. You can't know when he comes through this. I gotta get this fixed.
So is this unlocked?
Yeah, I guess it was right there.
Okay.
Like I say, she hasn't been here in 2 months. You know what I mean?
The first legal question: did Frankie retain the right to enter 305 Bel Air Court after 2 months of absence and explicit denial of access? In most United States jurisdictions, the answer is no. Lawful entry requires continuous occupancy or a recognized legal claim. Neither applied here. Residential burglary has 2 elements: unlawful entry into a dwelling and intent to commit a crime therein. Forcing through a locked window satisfies the first. The immediate attack on Carl and Holly satisfies the second. Entry was not incidental. The assault followed within seconds of gaining access. On battery, Carl alleged Frankie choked him with both hands until he lost consciousness, then struck him with a glass object. Manual strangulation causing unconsciousness is classified as aggravated battery, or felony strangulation in a majority of United States states, elevating this from a misdemeanor to a felony offense. That elevation affects sentencing exposure, bail classification, and any future custody proceedings Frankie may face.
Come here, Frankie. Were you just over on Bel Air Court? No? You didn't break into the house and... Stand up for me.
Yeah.
You didn't break into the house and beat up on Holly over there?
I didn't even know she was over there.
Okay. That's what they're alleging, that you were just there and you broke into the house. So you were never there?
No, I was not there.
Okay.
I had just come back from East Peoria.
Okay, where were you coming from in East Peoria?
I was dropping off a coworker because his parents didn't answer the phone and they had come by. So I was like, hey, I'm here. I'll take you home.
How long have you been here?
Last 20 minutes.
Can you see your hands? Keep your hands out.
I have a split from like ever ago because it's dry, but other than that,
What car did you drive?
that's mine. I'm here.
And when did you get here?
I've been here for like the last 20, 30
I
minutes.
didn't even know you were here at first. I just came out to have a smoke.
Just been sitting out here.
Yeah. I was waiting
That's
for him to be able
customers.
to come out because he had customers.
So what's going on?
Do me a favor, put your hands on your back.
They're like, they're
Hands on your back.
has injuries, okay? Go ahead and
And your car...
Because I didn't pull him.
I got you. I got you. Okay.
Can I give him my watch, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Well, they're alleging your car as well. That left.
You have a cut on your finger.
Yeah, on my thumb that's whole.
So if I pull camera footage, am I going to see you sitting here for 20 minutes like you're saying?
You have to wait
Okay, let's
until
go over
Monday
here.
anyway because Amanda.
Okay,
isn't
but if I
gonna be
do it
in.
on Monday, am I going to see you sitting here for 20 minutes like you're telling me?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to come pull camera footage.
That's fine.
Okay, let's go over here.
Now, hold on. The keys on the hood, you want him to take all of that stuff?
Well, yeah, I want the phone because I'll have phone numbers, especially if I'm going anywhere. This is absurd.
Oh, cool. To the station.
All right.
So she definitely seemed like something was a little off when she came here. She parked around the corner here, and I was dealing with customers. She came in and she said she wanted to talk to me outside off camera, and she told me she might have done something and might go to jail tonight. So
That's all
pretty
she
much,
said?
That's pretty much an
She
answer.
didn't
She
go
was careful.
She didn't go into detail about what she did, but she said, I might have done something.
Which I'm gonna do.
Which I'm gonna
She
go
said she was really shaken up a bit. So I was out here hanging out with Mike for a little bit, talking to her, getting her to calm down. Got it. I've been telling her to stay from that place. It's nothing but trouble. Her ex is trying to piss her off and trigger her. He's sent her texts in the past saying that he's with this girl. Her name's Holly. She has kids with this man. 2 kids. God, she really doesn't need an assault charge because she already doesn't technically have custody.
We're going to go right.
I
know
might
it's.
need a little bit of help.
Need help?
If you wouldn't mind.
I can pull you out.
I just.
There you go. It's not very good, but we're going to go.
Bad coordination.
This door right
might
there.
be-
This white door.
The evidentiary centerpiece is not the victim's account. It is what Frankie told her coworker Wes before police arrived. She parked around the corner, approached him away from security cameras, and said she might have done something that was going to put her in jail that night. That is a spontaneous declaration, a voluntary statement to a private individual outside any interrogation context. Because it was not made in response to police questioning, the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination does not bar its admission. Courts treat it as an admission against interest, fully usable at trial. On probable cause, in Illinois versus Gates, the Supreme Court established the totality of circumstances standard. Certainty is not required. A reasonable, articulable basis is, here, officers had victim testimony, a corroborating witness, a visible entry point, documented injuries, and an unsolicited pre-arrest admission to a third party. That basis was met.
Hi, Frankie.
Is it
What's that?
Echo? Is it?
I'm Officer Eckhoff.
Okay, Echo. I wanted to make sure I said it correctly.
You want to tell me what happened tonight?
I took my coworker home.
Okay.
That was about 11ish. Went up there, hung out with him for a little bit, and then came back this way and decided I was wanting to hang out with Wes for a little bit. And then kind of vibed there for a little bit. Went home for a while. Decided I couldn't sleep and I was bored. So I went ahead and came back to Circle K, sat in my car for a little while, kind of just scrolled my phone a little bit while it's still warm in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a little bit, I was like, okay, I'll go sit out in the front, wait for Wes to be able to, because I saw cars and people.
Okay.
So I know he was going to be busy. So I figured to sit out front. He'll eventually go out for a smoke and see me and be like, hey, what up? That's usually our MO.
Okay.
Like if he comes to visit me when I'm on thirds, he'll sit on the front and we'll chat for a while and then he'll go home. Not too long after sitting and vibing there for a while. Officer John, I don't remember his last name, I apologize. And his buddy, I didn't catch his name, so I have to say that I don't need to be disrespectful.
Okay.
Had pulled up, and I thought, oh, hey, maybe they have a case for us to help them with, and kind of just started talking to them, and then it became apparent they were there for me for some reason, and then they told me about Holly's stupid ass.
So, do you want to tell me what happened at 305 Bel Air tonight?
I have no idea what happened.
So why are you being named? Why then personally that you got into the house and attacked her?
This is not my first rodeo with dumb bullshit games that my husband has pulled. I promise you. This is just dumb shit that he's probably drunk, which doesn't surprise me. He's been on and off the sauce here lately, and I've been talking to him about he needs to either take a few days and go into rehab and get back off of it because he was doing really well for a while.
I'll be honest, I talked with him, and I talked with him for a while. He hadn't been drinking tonight. So tell me why they're naming you personally that you were in that house and attacked his girlfriend, or mistress, or whatever you want to call her.
We're still married, so it's definitely a mistress.
Okay, so why are they naming that you were in that house attacking her?
Because she hates me. Because I dared be his wife. Like, I'm telling you. I don't have a reason to lie to you guys. There's no reason to.
Okay. Why would you go back to Wes and say that you did something that's probably going to put you in jail tonight?
I didn't.
Then why is he telling us that?
I can't get into Wes's brain and explain why.
I'm just saying what you're telling me and what is being told to us isn't lining up with anything that you're telling us.
I'm sorry.
You're being named personally for attacking somebody, but you're saying you were never there.
I really wasn't though.
And you're saying that they're drunk and all this stuff, and they're not drunk.
Did you do a back test? Can you go back and do a back test?
I don't have to do a back test. He's not drinking when I can't smell alcohol coming off his breath. I've been doing this a long time. I know when someone's been drinking.
I'm not trying.
I also know when someone's been lying to me.
I'm not trying to make you feel like I'm trying to insult you. I would never do that.
I'm just trying to get.
I
I'm trying to get a
respect
statement
guys,
from
and
you.
I've always done everything I can when you guys come to Circle K and say, hey, look, did you see this? Did you see that? I always make sure that my kids know that when they see the guys in blue and the women in blue, that that's someone that's there to protect them. I would never, ever go out of my way to insult you guys.
I fully feel like right now you're not telling me the whole story of what happened tonight.
And you have...
Especially when you have a coworker saying that you went and told him that you did something that is going to put you in jail tonight. Nobody just says that stuff.
And I don't feel like he said that because nothing happened.
And you also said that you were in your vehicle at Circle K, but they found you on the sidewalk outside the Circle K.
Yes, I told you that I stayed in my car for a little bit and then moved over to sit in the front.
You know what? I truly believe that you were at that house at Bel Air tonight. You got into that house and you attacked her. You went back and told your friend, and now you're trying not to say that you weren't. Nobody just puts you in a situation, tells us that you drove off, and then tells us that you did something that's going to jail tonight. Not a normal person does not do that.
He's at the PD.
I've told you my truth. I don't know what else you want me to do.
Okay. So you're denying being at Bel Air, 305 Bel Air tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just hang tight for me.
Okay. He's so mean.
Who is?
Eckhoff.
Mr. Eckhoff is? He's not a bad guy, I promise.
He's mean
I
to
work
me.
with him a lot. I try to be nice. Hopefully I'm not mean. You don't think I'm mean, do you?
No. I've been learning a lot in therapy. I'm gonna miss my therapist appointment Monday. That's gonna be great. Noon.
Oh, you'll be alright.
I've just been charged with a domestic, and I'm going to jail.
It's not the end of the world.
It is when you're a newly single mom that's trying to get a home for her children. Thanks, Carl, for putting the final nail in the fucking coffin. You lying sack of shit. How is it when I'm the one that tells the fucking truth, all he's got to do is lie good enough, and I'm the one that gets every time? I just keep asking God why he keeps putting me in these situations.
I wish somebody would have just given him a back reading. I just want to know if I'm right or not. And honestly, as shitty as it's going to sound, kind of just to shove it in Eckett's face that I know he's been. I can just feel it in my body. I've gotten to a point where I can tell. Especially when harebrained bullshit like this happens. He probably hit her, and then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. What are we going to do if I go to work? We'll just blame it on Frankie. This is dumb motherfucker. And now I'm going to jail for something I didn't do.
On arrest force, officers applied handcuffs only, with no resistance on camera. Under Graham versus Connor, force is judged from the perspective of a reasonable officer at the moment of action, not in hindsight. Given a suspected strangulation offense, this level of force was not only appropriate, it was minimal. Responding officers receive a grade of B+. Accounts gathered independently. Physical evidence assessed. Suspect interviewed without coercion. Arrest force proportionate. Officer Ecoff's use of the surveillance camera reference to pressure test the alibi was tactically sound. One deduction: on-camera documentation of the window entry point is not clearly confirmed. Scene photography is standard practice and should appear in the case file. Carl, the victim, receives a grade of A-. His account was consistent, physically corroborated, and candid. He disclosed mutual verbal conflict before the escalation. That transparency strengthened his credibility rather than undermining it. Frankie receives a grade of D. Forced entry, strangulation, blunt object assault. Each allegation is serious on its own. Together, they present a compounded felony exposure. The alibi she constructed was contradicted by her own witness. Parking away from cameras and framing her admission as vague reflect deliberateness. Courts treat such conduct as consciousness of guilt. Consciousness of guilt is admissible as circumstantial evidence and will weigh materially against any claim of innocence at trial. 3 takeaways from this case. First, leaving a shared residence, even briefly, can extinguish the right to re-enter. Without a court order defining access, estrangement alone does not preserve entry rights. Second, pre-arrest statements to private individuals are not protected. Under Miranda versus Arizona, what you say to a friend or coworker before police arrive is fully admissible evidence. Third, choking is not ordinary battery. In most states, strangulation causing unconsciousness is a standalone felony with consequences that extend well beyond the criminal case into family court and custody determinations. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like discussed in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out our second channel, Street Bodycam, for more police interaction and courtroom content.